ready to cringe because you're about to, like really bad. Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a reading of one of my first books that I ever wrote. Well, not the full book, but like the first chapter or two, and it's gonna be really bad. So I hope you guys have some popcorn and a puke bucket because you'll need it. So just to give you guys a little precursor as to what this book is about, I wrote it about 3 NaNoWriMos ago, or 2, or something like that, but it was one of the first books that I wrote, and it isn't a long one, but it is a pretty bad one, and if I had some of my older writings, I would have read you guys those, because this one's pretty cringeworthy, but it's not like the most cringeworthy thing I wrote. I once wrote a fanfiction about Justin Bieber mixed with Criminal Minds. It was weird. It was called FBI Girlfriend, Pop Star Boyfriend, so yeah, we're just gonna leave that be. So this book is actually about a superhero, and it's her origin story where she has telekinetic abilities, and it's super cool, but I ended up writing it in a few weeks, and it just never turned out to be a good thing, because Marvel and DC pretty much have this section of the universe covered. But I wanted to, you know, try my hand at it, and I had so much fun with it, but it is not my best writing in the universe. It's actually pretty bad, but, you know, we're just gonna read it anyways, so let's get into it. Chapter 1. The meteor shower was supposed to be a spectacle, but instead, in seconds, it became a disaster. It all happened so fast that I didn't have time to process what was happening until a meteor barreled into my front lawn. It sent a shockwave that shattered my window and threw me off my feet, knocking me into a black abyss. That's pretty much a good way of saying, then everything went black. The most overused line in fiction. I'm just saying. I avoid it like it's the plague. Then it's like a little bit later. It was as if I was drowning, no wall surrounding me that I could grasp. My mind, my thoughts, my being were fading in and out until nothing was left. The next thing I knew, I was in a bustling hospital with a searing pain in my head that was so strong that the dreaded darkness returned and pulled me away. Once again, me trying to avoid the and everything went black scenario, and it actually just was me doing that, just in different wording. Sasha, really? I mean, I like old Sasha's effort. I mean, the next few days were a blur of doctor's needles and cuddling for my dad. It felt as if my world was being slowed down and numb ever since the meteor crashed. It wasn't until I was released from the hospital at the end of the week, nursing some minor bumps and bruises, that my world sped up into a normal speed again. Whenever there are like really slow-mo scenes in a book when somebody's about to get killed, and I'm like, just speed it up already, and you know. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit, because this is gonna be me skipping forward a lot of stuff, because, you know, I gotta get to the good bits, not the boring bits. Hey kiddo, you okay? My dad asked, resting his hand on my shoulder. He must have been so worried after my mom died 3 years ago. Literally, this character, I pretended like she was me almost, because I want to be a secret superhero. Yeah, Dad, I'm just a little shaken up. This whole situation is insane. Who would have known our new neighbor would become a meteor? So funny. Her dad took her home, and now she's in her bed. So much better than that hospital bed, I sighed to myself, feeling the plush comforter beneath me. Honestly, like, sometimes I wonder, do we ever say that out loud to ourselves? Like, sometimes I say, Sasha, you're so stupid out loud, but, you know, not like, this bed's so comfortable. I usually just tweet it. Oh yeah, I forgot that I named this character Freya. Love that name. They're pretty much just more descriptions of, like, you know, just me. No, the character. This character's not me. I do not have telekinetic abilities, even though I wish I did. But pretty much, she wakes up and she sees that there's like a meteor removal crew that came to take the meteor out, even though realistically, if a meteor barreled into your front lawn, you would not be allowed back into your house, because your house would then be an archaeologist site. Because who does not want to study a meteor that just plummeted into a suburban area? I mean, I would. I would like lick the thing, being like, give me your powers! So like after she's been like technically hit by a meteor, she's like, oh Dad, hey, I'm going on a run. Running always distresses me, and right now I need this. In a way, it's like I'm running away from my problems. Wow, way to be unique and different. I run away from my problems by running into the refrigerator and eating all the food in it. I pull my long auburn hair into a ponytail and set off on a jog. Literally, I try to make myself this character. It's great. Tomorrow, my normal mundane life will start once again with work at my local indie bookstore. Really, Sasha? Really? The Book Stop. Good name for a bookstore, actually, though. I'm circling the cul-de-sac at the end of the street, about a mile from my house, when a dull pain starts to throb in the back of my head. Must be a headache. Duh. It's not like you just got hit by a meteor. I hope it doesn't become a migraine, because those seriously suck. They do. My feet continued to pound against the ground until the dull pain exploded into what felt like a hammer beating against my skull. That's relaxing. The pain is nothing like I ever felt in my life. I literally didn't know past or present tense ever. Like, I didn't think it was a thing when I wrote this book. The edges of my vision began to darken, and I know this isn't good. The last thing I heard before I passed out from the pain was the screech of a car, then everything went black. Oh, wow. I actually really did put then everything went back into this book like 3 times. Just 2 of the times was said differently. Chapter 3. So pretty much she wakes up, she goes and figures out that she's in a doctor's office, and then the door is locked, so she can't get out of the room. Maybe if I knock on the door, someone will notice that I'm in here and awake. Literally, girl, like, just think about it. Like, you're in a hospital room, your door is locked, you're not somewhere that it's actually a hospital. Unless you're in an insane asylum, then that would be fine. I mean, she may be insane. So she knocks on the door, and then she's like, there's a beep on the other side of the door, and I step back, still hesitant, of whom may be on the other side. The door slowly opens to reveal a man in a white lab coat who looks about middle age with brown hair flaked with gray. I'm Dr. Michaels. I run the facility here we are currently in. Facility? Okay, time to start asking questions. Like, duh. Like, honestly, if some random person came into, like, a room and it was locked, I would just been like, where the frick am I? Who the heck are you? Where is my father? Do you have my insurance card? I don't mean to seem rude, but why was my door locked and where the heck am I? Dude, they locked you in a room. You can be as rude as you want. And that just shows how this character is just me, because I would ask that question because I'd be like, I don't mean to be rude, because I'm too nice to an extent. He walks over to the chair in the corner and sits down, motioning me to do the same. Freya Montgomery, born August 20th, 1996, in Indianapolis, Indiana, before moving to Chicago, Illinois. Literally me. 11 years after the death of your mother, Claire Montgomery. Didn't, like, your mom die, like, 3 years ago? This is why you have editors, people. You graduated from high school this past year with honors, and now are taking a gap year instead of attending one of the universities you were accepted to. Freya, you aren't in a hospital. Not good. Not good at all. And this may sound improbable and slightly false, but you are in a United States government compound. That does not sound slightly false, but a whole lot false. Why? I obviously did not edit this book. Yeah, no. Just listen to me. I will explain everything, but I need you to have an open mind. Can you do that for me? You are a wizard, Freya. No, actually, she isn't. That wasn't in the book, but it would have been really funny if it is, because that would have been the perfect spot for it. So pretty much, she goes on and on. They say, like, oh, we did some MRIs and EEGs and whatnot. I'm confused. Can you please tell me if I have a brain tumor or not? Who said anything about a brain tumor? Did you think that's why you're here? So I don't have a brain tumor? No, you don't. I apologize if I made you think that. Although you don't have a tumor, your brain still isn't completely normal. Hold up. Did he just call me dumb? I am so lost as to where he's going with this. That's a reach. Freya, you don't use 10% of your brain. You use 90, he says, looking at me as if I'm a bunny that is about to spaz out. Instead of freaking out, I start laughing, which started out as a giggle, but then turned into a full fit of laughter that made my eyes water. Okay, doctor, where are the hidden cameras? I got you. This is all some practical joke show, right? Cannot believe I fell for this. It's so ludicrous. Wow, that's how people totally think and talk, Sasha. Freya, as much as I wish this could all be a practical joke, it isn't. He stands up from his chair and motions for the door. Let me show you. I can show you the facility. Shining, shimmering test tubes. So pretty much, this next chapter is literally like this big, and it's just about her calling her dad, being like, hey dad, I just ran into a friend, everything's fine. It's not like I'm in a government compound and I don't know what the frick is going on, and I was just told that I use 90% of my brain. Like, I'm totally fine. And then she goes back home and she talks to her dad, and she tells him about, you know, this crazy stuff that's happening to her, and her dad's totally chill about her being used as a lab rat, because of course. Okay, now we're just gonna move on to the last section of what I will be reading for you guys, because it's where the hot guy comes in. So pretty much she goes to a comic store called Connor's Comics, and she's about to go purchase some comic books, because that's what you do at a comic store. Also, she's had hallucinations throughout the chapters that I skipped, but we're just gonna move on from that because it's really just a bunch of boring stuff. I almost dropped my stack of comics when I see who entered. Probably the most attractive guy I've seen in my life enters the shop. I don't know him, but I wish I knew him. Also, picture the sky as Matthew Daddario, because that's totally who I pictured when I was writing his description. Dark, almost black hair made his strikingly blue eyes pop. He is probably 6'3" and has muscles most guys would dream of having. Oh crap. Just then, a thought occurs to me. He's a hallucination. My thoughts whenever a hot guy, like, is near me. He's a hallucination. Like, I'm not worthy. My mind hasn't been playing nice with me recently, and I don't think it's playing nice now. This incredibly hot guy is not real. I stare blatantly at this figment of my imagination, blinking hard, trying to get the image disappear. When it doesn't go away, I do something without thinking. I reach up with one of my hands to rub the apparition away, but then the whole stack of comics I'm carrying falls from its carefully organized stack to the ground with an impact that makes me wince. I honestly dropped to the floor, worried about the damage I caused to the vintage comics, that I almost forget about the unearthly attractive hallucination I was just freaking out about a second ago. The key word is that I almost forgot, because less than a second later, he seems to pop back into the picture and helps me pick up the comics from the floor? If I was confused before, well now I feel he's slightly insane, especially when he speaks. Hey, are you okay? He says in a low, husky voice. Before I had a chance to question my sanity once again, our hands touch as we reach for the same comic, and I notice that I've been internally freaking out for no reason. He's real. The rest is for another time. Another time where we can handle more cringe than we just did. Right now, I don't think you guys can handle any more cringe. I know that I can't, because that was a lot. So the moral of the story is that, you know, when you write a book, the first draft is obviously not going to be the best. Maybe not even the second or the third, but just try your hardest, and if a storyline isn't... I'm trying to make a serious talk right now, Fraser, okay? You're ruining it. But if you try your hardest and you kind of play around with different ideas and different storylines, something can click. So I wrote this my first year of college, and I didn't give up writing since then. Obviously, this is a crappy draft, and any author or writer who writes has a crappy draft. But I ended up not giving up on writing. I ended up writing as much as I can and learning from my professors and learning from Lindsay and just learning in general, reading a lot of books, reading a lot of writing books. Fraser! And I then learned how to write better and how to actually, you know, structure a book and write characters and write dialogue and write descriptions. That's how I ended up writing Zenith, and Lindsay and I now have it coming out later this year in January. So I'm just really excited about it, and I'm really excited that my writing has improved, and I really love seeing that progression. So just know that what you may write sometimes may not be the best writing, but you know that with time and effort and practice, it can then turn into something better, like a full novel that you're actually proud of and you don't cringe while reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this one of me reading my past writings, let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!